In solo leveling, we saw Jinwoo entering a B rank gate, which later turned out to be a red gate, but it wasn't a problem for him since our boy is always ready for a battle. He then calls out all his shadow soldiers and decides to face this quickly. Meanwhile, somewhere around the world, a group of hunters encountered the Frost Monarch, and where the hunter asks him, "What are you?" Where the Frost Monarch said, "Yet again, the one I seek are not here. The fragments of brilliant light are quite elusive." But then a portal opened behind him, and we get the first appearance of Monarch of Transfiguration, Yogmat. Well, then the Frost Monarch asks him, "What brought you here?" Where he replies, "I come to inform you about the land in the east." Frost Monarch said, "If you mean the small strip of land in the east, that is where the Shadow Monarch resides. I believe you were in charge of that area, weren't you?" Yogman replies, "It seems the rulers are planning to set Legia free a little south from there, and that's where I shall be going." Frost Monarch then asks, "What about the Monarch of Shadows?" Where he replies, "As long as Architect carries out our agreement, there should be no problem." Where Yogmat says, "I have one more piece of interesting news for you. It's been confirmed that the greatest fragment of brilliant light is there." Where the Frost Monarch found it interesting and says, "I'm surprised you came to relay this information to me in person." Where Yogmat asks him, "How about it then?" Where Frost Monarch says, "If you insist on letting me have this opportunity, I shall gladly accept. But more importantly, it seems we were lured here." Where then Yogmat says, "Someone like him couldn't possibly possess the powers of one of the fragments. I was wondering why he left behind the traces of himself. It seems he's trying to get in our way again." And with that saying, we get to see the entry of our daddy Jinwoo in the very beginning of the episode, where he then says, "A small strip of land in the east." Are you referring to South Korea? Where then Frost Monarch asks him, "What's it to you?" Then Yogmat tells Frost Monarch that we don't have time to play silly games with that weakling, and proceeds to go into the portal. Then the Frost Monarch dares Daddy Jinwoo to try and catch them, where then Daddy Jinwoo draws out his weapon and dashes towards the Frost Monarch, where then Sillet blocks his attack by creating an ice shield. Meanwhile, back in the Red Gate, Jinwoo was done clearing every beast in the dungeon except the boss, and when he arrives, the boss looks at him and asks him, "Are you the one who's been going around and killing my compatriots?" and tells Jinwoo that I'm impressed that someone of such short stature was able to make it all the way here to the heart of this place. On top of that, you know how to speak our language too, but this is as far as you go. My fellow men are hiding in an area." Where then Jinwoo says, "Someone of short stature, huh? You're a funny guy," and then calls out his shadows. Where then all the shadow soldiers comes out from the forest with the bodies of the boss soldiers, where then Jinwoo tells him looks like there's nobody left, and that shocked him and thought what happened. He then got hit by a head of his own soldier by Beru, where then we get to see all our shadow soldiers in a frame. Where then the boss in rage tries to attack him, where then Jinwoo makes the first attack by sending all his shadow soldiers to attack all at once. Where then Jinwoo starts walking towards the boss, and whoever gets in his way gets smashed by his soldiers. Where then we saw Beru and Igris slice through the dungeon boss arms, where then Tusk used the Hymn of Giant and used the gravity acceleration and slam him down. Where then Jinwoo asks him, "If you cooperate, I'll make this less painful for you." Where after that we get to see the corpse of the dead dungeon boss, but Jinwoo was in despair that in the end he couldn't get out any information out of him, and thinks that the system might have interfered again, and says, "Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I'll find out about everything with time." The key I obtained from the cursed random loot box. I met all of its requirements after reaching level 100 during the Jeju Island raid, and that key was the key to the Cartinian temple, and whose location of the gate will be revealed after a certain period of time has passed. And Jinwoo was definitely waiting for it, cause he can never forget that place even if he tries, cause it was the double dungeon from where it all began, and the system was calling him back to the place where it all started. But since now he's changed and says if this whole thing was planned from the very beginning, if someone is there waiting for me to return, then just you wait. I'll be coming for you soon.